You said the one. It's my time to shine.
Why is it your time to shine?
The holiday season.
Oh, God. I'm surprised you don't already have up a Christmas tree.
Well, I am definitely going to have my Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving for multiple reasons.
Before Thanksgiving?
Before Thanksgiving. Kintsugi is the time-honored Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold to highlight the beauty of imperfection.
We believe the same is true for life and motherhood, that transparent conversations can impact generational legacy in the spirit of Kintsugi.
We embrace our differences and brokenness in the everyday pieces of life because we can all turn our messes into messages and are each more valuable when repaired with care where before we were broken.
Welcome to Kintsugi Conversations.
So here's the thing. First of all, I feel like if you spend all this time and money putting up Christmas decorations, I feel like you need to enjoy it for a long time. And this year, I think Thanksgiving is on the 28th of November, I think.
I don't know.
So that wouldn't even be a full month before Christmas. The second reason is, honestly, in this role that I've stepped into as a content creator working with brands, I have holiday brands, like brand deals rolling out like now.
Okay.
And they want Christmas decor in the branded stuff because even though the drafts are rolling out now, by the way, I did like this whole behind the scenes of a content creator YouTube video that everyone should check out because it gives like a lot of insight into what this is like. But the drafts are rolling out now, but the content won't actually go live till like early December. But they want it to look like it's early December.
Okay.
So I kind of have to.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at it.
I know you look for any reason whatsoever to do a decoration.
I definitely do.
So.
However, even though I'm a Christmas person, I do really like Thanksgiving as well. And I'm not one of those people that just wants to skip Thanksgiving. Like I do want to actually celebrate Thanksgiving. Like I've always enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on Thanksgiving?
I like Thanksgiving, but to me Thanksgiving is kind of it kind of gets lost in the holiday shuffle because Thanksgiving really the only thing people think about at Thanksgiving is Christmas.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets lost. A lot of people though will do their big meal, the turkey, the dressing, the yada yada, do all that at Thanksgiving time, and then at Christmas they'll just do like whatever.
Yeah, and see, I actually agree with that, and I'm totally with that. Like, I think Thanksgiving should be your big meal. You should have all of the things. And then now, I really feel like for Christmas, which we're going to talk about Christmas on our next episode, which will actually be like in a minute, but I feel like for Christmas, like you should do like a Christmas brunch, like breakfast brunch, especially if you have little kids like I do and like grandparents and people are coming over to like watch them open gifts anyway. I think like do like a Christmas breakfast or brunch and then just like have like you can have a good dinner, but like maybe you just like have steaks. You know what I'm saying? Like steaks and baked potato. Like it doesn't need to be like
I don't even think it needs to be like necessarily, especially when you have little kids, that regimented. I would rather just have some kind of big buffet thing set up that can be there primarily all day, and when people are hungry they can just get something because it's about the kids and them playing.
Yeah.
Whereas Thanksgiving, we need to think about what we're thankful for, and a lot of times we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We're just so thinking so much about what we're going to eat and how much we're going to eat. And then again, thinking towards Christmas that we forget about what Thanksgiving is supposed to be.
Yeah. Do you remember what your Thanksgivings were like growing up?
No.
No recollection?
No, I don't remember anything about my childhood.
It's strange for me because obviously I had a great childhood, but I don't really remember Thanksgiving. Like what did Thanksgiving look like in the Mathis house when I was a kid?
Thanksgiving looked like your grandmother would always come up like a week or two before.
A week or two?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And just to spend time. She was always at our house anyway.
So she wasn't coming to do Thanksgiving prep a week early.
No,
okay.
No. But like the day before Thanksgiving, she would already have been there and would have gotten all of her groceries and stuff. And so she did the cooking. And while she did the cooking, of course we had the blended family, so all the, family would come for dinner. But your dad would also invite every stray that there was in the city. Just people that we, as his family, have never seen or heard of before. But just, Charles invited me to dinner, and like, okay. Fortunately, we were always a family where we always had way, way too much food.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was kind of a good thing that we did always make extra, because, like I said, he would just random people would just show up for dinner, and we're like, what? Where did you come from? Who are you? Oh, and then your dad is like, oh, this is my buddy. And we're like, never ever heard you mention this person again. So for us, Thanksgiving was a full house, lots of food, very loud, a lot of wine drinking, and just, it was like a mini party almost.
Yeah. It's wild to me that I don't remember Thanksgiving. I remember Christmas vividly, but I don't remember Thanksgiving. Maybe that's an example of how Thanksgiving tends to get overshadowed by Christmas, because I really don't remember. Like, I don't have one single memory of like, oh, Thanksgiving when I was a kid. The first Thanksgiving that I do vividly remember, I had to be 19. Do you remember that Thanksgiving that I tried to make that baked mac and cheese and Daddy told me it wasn't good, and then I like stormed upstairs and like refused to come down?
Yes, I do.
I have since learned how to cook much better than I could at 19, and I can make a decent baked mac and cheese. It's not the best. Like, I've had some baked mac and cheese that are like a 10, really good. I'd give mine a 7. Like, it's good, but it's not like this is great. However, I got one of my sorority sisters' recipes. We had literally just crossed into the sorority right before Thanksgiving. I got her recipe and I was like so excited, like, I'm gonna bring something to the table, right? Like, I'm gonna cook something for Thanksgiving. And my dad could cook, like, really, really well. Like, whenever he would come home and cook, he could cook. And so
the whole house would be a mess. But
filthy, like stuff everywhere. And so, I made this baked mac and cheese and it looked good. Remember, like on the outside,
beautiful.
It was really pretty, and I thought I had done my thing. I was so proud of it. I don't think I had tasted it or you had tasted it. I think he thought it looked good too, which is why he was like, oh, let me take a spoon. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember that it was not nice. And I think me and DJ were also like having a little college argument, and I was already sensitive, but I remember being so hurt that he did not like my mac and cheese, and that is my first kind of memory of Thanksgiving. But
that's a shame.
Right. That it's not good. But it does, lead me to the question. Okay, it's Thanksgiving. What are you cooking? Like, what are you bringing? What is your kind of specialty that everyone's going to ask you to prepare?
One thing for sure, another thing possibly. The first thing for sure I'm going to say is probably my collard greens. Everybody usually likes for me to do the collard greens or whatever kind of vegetable we're having. That's usually what my contribution is.
Yeah.
And if we're doing somewhat of a non-traditional Thanksgiving, then my fried chicken.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if I'm hosting Thanksgiving ever, and you're coming, and like I'm like, oh, can you bring this, and this? You bring this, and this. Your contributions are always gonna be the collard greens, the fried chicken, and your cream corn. I'd add that too, because like I don't know if cream corn is a traditional Thanksgiving food, but I feel like it kind of goes with the food.
Yeah,
your cream corn. Okay. What do you think my contribution would be? I know what it is, but what do you think?
Your contribution would be dessert.
Yeah.
You do an amazing peach cobbler and an amazing banana pudding.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thanksgiving, or really any holiday, whenever I'm like, what can I bring? It's, can you make a banana pudding? Will you make a banana pudding? That's always the thing that I get asked to bring. I can cook more stuff, but that's like the thing that people are like, oh, can you please make one?
Has that thing that they're like, they do better than anybody else.
Yeah.
So, that's your thing. And then, we have other members of the family that do the ham and the potato salad. You know, when we're having during the summer, we have somebody else who does like the baked beans, and so everybody has their little forte as to what they're good at.
Yeah. In terms of Thanksgiving, what do you kind of prefer? And I'm asking this because I didn't even start the episode with this, which I should have, because this is a really big deal. This year is like the first Thanksgiving in ever that I'm gonna be like hosting at my house. Like we've always been out of the country for Thanksgiving. This year we're home, and so I'm trying to kind of figure out like exactly how it's gonna run. I do want to talk about kind of like Thanksgiving with like blended family and extended family, which we'll get to in a second. Before we talk about that, I wanted to ask you, because maybe you can give me some inspo. What do you prefer for Thanksgiving? Do you prefer like sit down dinner, like food on the table, like a little bit more formal, or do you prefer kind of like informal, everyone make your own plates, like, you know, the food is up on the countertop, kind of eat wherever you eat, like that kind of vibe?
I kind of like a combination. I like to have all the food laid out, you know, in warmers on the counter, and then everyone fix their plate, but then kind of sit like in a central place.
Yeah.
So that we can like talk. I like to kind of like go around the table and ask, you know, what you're thankful for, and you know, that kind of stuff. The eat anywhere is more for me for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's informal. But for Thanksgiving, I do like a little bit more formality.
I agree. I think that's what my plan is. I think that Thanksgiving is probably the one day of the year that I expect for like everyone to kind of sit and eat together at the table together, a little bit more formal. And like we don't even have to use real plates. Like it can still be.
It's just a matter of sitting together.
Yeah, it's sitting together, like sharing what you're thankful for and like enjoying this meal together. I think that is like, you know, part of what Thanksgiving is supposed to be about.
I do too. I prefer not to use real plates because nobody wants to have to wash dishes when they're full. You know, I just want to be able to like curl up somewhere and do whatever. But I do like the formality. I don't want to have to fix. You know, I always fix my husband's plate, and you know, we fix the kids' plates. But as far as other people, I like for them to be able to get what they want, as much or as little of whatever as they want, and then, like I said, come and sit in a central place.
Now, real clothes for Thanksgiving or like comfy clothes?
I tend to want to do more real clothes, but I'm not opposed to like doing like a dressier athleisure outfit.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like Thanksgiving is like the fall fashion day of the year. Like your cute sweater, like you wear that for Thanksgiving. And like whether you wear it with like jeans or leggings, like I don't really care about that. Like you don't have to be super dressy.
Yeah, I want you to be comfortable, but I still want you to look a little bit more put together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, flats. You know, do flats. You don't have to come in like, you know, in no fashion show. But you know, I want to wear my leggings so I can eat with my big sweater and be be cute but still be comfortable.
I agree. So, Mom, you kind of touched earlier in the episode about how we have this like blended family. And for us, growing up, or when I was growing up, even though we are definitely a blended family, we are always all together. So for those of you who may not know, my dad was married before he married my mom. I am also very close to my dad's ex-wife. She is what I would consider my godmother. She's actually in my house right now. So if you hear someone walking around, it's because she's downstairs. I have two siblings that are from her, but we were always all together. Like it never felt blended. And so I guess that's kind of how I thought holidays just went. Like I didn't realize that like people had to choose who they spent holidays with. And I guess because we were not really that close to your family, like it was never a question of if we were going to spend the holidays with, you know, dad's side or your side.
Right.
You know, we always spend it with his side, but his side included a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? But now, as an adult, you know, I'm married, you're married, we have this whole thing of who do we spend holidays with? So I wanted to talk about that because I definitely feel like that's something that other adults and like married couples deal with, is like figuring out who spends the holidays with who.
Yeah. For us, we had a conversation, my husband and I had a conversation early on about holidays and, you know, what was expected and who's had a favorite holiday and this, that, and the third, and if there were any family traditions. And he said to me early on that Thanksgiving was his favorite holiday. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really care that much about Thanksgiving, but at some point in time, my daughter, you know, is going to be having kids, and so they're going to be young kids at her house. So I would prefer, you know, if we could, since you kind of want to spend Thanksgiving with your family, that works out perfectly. That way, we can spend Christmas with, you know, my family and have like the kids around and whatever. Or what we did before you had kids was he and I would generally leave the country like the day after Christmas or whatever and come to wherever you and DJ were and see the New Year in there. So we did have a conversation though as far as we're going to do Thanksgiving with your family, Christmas with my family. And to me that cuts down on the confusion. It's hard to try to do
half the day.
Yeah, because I can't eat that much.
Yeah. And you always feel rushed, like you have to like, oh, we gotta leave to get to this place, and that can be a lot. For us, it's never really been an issue before because we've never been home for Thanksgiving. It did kind of work out where DJ's dad and stepmom, just because of their work schedules, would always come overseas to visit us, like for the week of Thanksgiving. And so it worked out well that, you know, when you and Derek were married, or got married, you're still married, when you and Derek got married, you were spending Thanksgiving with him, you know, DJ's dad and stepmom were spending Thanksgiving with us. And so I think like the plan for this year is to kind of keep it that way, even though we are home. We will host Thanksgiving at our house. So my husband's family, you know, will come to our house. My family will also come to my house besides you and Derek, which of course, like if you guys feel like it, you're welcome to stop by for dessert later on in the day. But like I don't expect you guys to come since like it was already kind of like that. But I do expect everybody else to come because it's the first Thanksgiving here. So
well, I mean that's, you know, kind of special, and I kind of, you know, I hate that we're gonna miss it, but again, it was a decision that was made early on. So, you know, in order to not rock the boat, and so that he don't try to take my Christmas.
Right, because I know you're not giving away seeing Harper and Jackson Christmas morning.
I'm like, you don't even have to go to the house with me to see the kids open their gifts, but just know when you wake up, I will be here. So don't be expecting no breakfast unless you're going to drive over there and have breakfast. So, you know, I prefer just to keep things as they are. And it's so strange because Derek's daughter is engaged now, and so we've been kind of still talking about this whole holiday thing and, you know, Christmas and whatever. And he's been so regimented in that, well, you know, I still want to spend time with my kids on Christmas and on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, but she's going to have her husband's family that she's going to have to deal with. So you can't be so spoiled that you're not willing to give up some portion of one holiday.
Yeah. I mean, this is like honestly like a big point of contention for a lot of couples is like, where do we spend the holidays? Like, I think that unless it's like a situation like you and Derek where you guys just agreed that that's how you're doing it forever, I think like it honestly makes sense to just switch. So like 1 year this side gets Thanksgiving and that side gets Christmas. The next year that side gets Thanksgiving, that side gets Christmas. But, you know, unfortunately, like I've never had a situation where we're close to like both sides of both people's family, if that makes sense. Like, you know, like, okay, for me, like I said, I can't imagine if I had like my mom's side of the family and my dad's side of the family, like, and then it's, if it's my holiday, are we going to my mom's side or my dad's side? That wasn't my situation. I really only had my dad's side. But like for some people, it's like, okay, if Thanksgiving is their holiday, are they going to their parents? Like it gets very complicated.
Or the compromise would be for the parents then to both come to
But in some situations, that doesn't work out. If they don't get along, it gets really complicated.
Right. So we've just been lucky.
We've been lucky, and I think that it makes sense to switch holidays as opposed to splitting the day, except for possibly Christmas. It might make sense to split the day if you're going to do breakfast with some people and dinner with others.
Right. Well, Christmas to me, like I said, it's all about the kids anyway, and you will pop over and see what Santa brought the kids, whether it's in the afternoon or whatever. And then, like I said, that's why I like the idea of having more of a brunch setup, though, all day brunch setup, like for Christmas. So if people pop in and they're hungry, they can fix them a little something, and play with the kids and whatever, and keep it moving. Just sort of more of a drop-in situation as opposed to come and stay and have this formal meal and yada yada yada.
For sure. Well, we're going to talk a ton more about Christmas on our next episode, which is going to be all about how we do Christmas in the Mathis Jones Lewis universe over here. But before, let's do our Thanksgiving broken and beautiful.
Ooh, gosh.
I can go first if you want.
Because I don't know if I really have a broken.
My Thanksgiving broken would be that although I don't really remember it, you mentioned like this full house with all these people on Thanksgiving, and like I would love to have that. And even though I do have a lot of, a good amount of people coming for Thanksgiving, I just feel like throughout the years, just death, circumstances, broken relationships, all of it, like the size of my family has just dwindled down to be a lot smaller than it once was. And so that would be my broken when it comes to Thanksgiving and all of the holidays, is that sometimes I wish that I had that big family, all the friends.
Our family wasn't that big. It was these randoms your dad would invite.
I mean, but there was like grandma, uncles, cousins, all that, and the strays. I'll take the strays. I'm fine with strays.
You invite your friends who don't really have,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then my beautiful would be that this is the first Thanksgiving, that we've been home. I'm really excited for that.
I can see that. My broken would be just all the work that goes as a woman, all the work that goes into Thanksgiving dinner. And, whether you're having a lot of people or whatever, it's like the prep to get the house ready and then get dinner ready, then entertaining everybody, and then the cleaning up afterwards, where most of the guests, scatter and go home, and the randoms do whatever, and then you're stuck with all this big mound of a mess to clean up. So that would probably be my broken. My beautiful would be just having everybody in, talking, laughing, and just having a good time, and just sharing the day. Nothing too regimented and formal, like I said, other than just sitting, having dinner together, but still it's informal. You're talking, you're laughing, you're all just having a good time, enjoying the day and enjoying family.
Yeah.
And there are no expectations of anything.
I can dig it. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Kintsugi Conversations. We are at kintsugi.conversations across platforms. And if you guys are as excited as I am about Christmas, you definitely want to tune in for the next episode where we get into all of the holiday spirit.
Shoot me now.